Mr. Speaker,
Order.
Resumption of debate on the electric vehicles charging bill, second reading.
Mr. Donwy.
Mr. Speaker, I declare that I'm working with a Singaporean bank, but I do not manage any any revenue performance target. With the increasing number of electric vehicles, EVs, on our roads, it is necessary for us to legislate the charging of EVs to ensure safety and accessibility of reliable chargers all over our island. As part of the transitional arrangements, the government is allowing existing suppliers to continue to supply non-approved EV chargers for 6 months from the commencement of the bill. I have a clarification for MOT. Will these chargers be allowed to continue usage beyond these 6 months? Speaker, sir, in Mandarin. 我的下一个问题是关于电源容量。政府计划如何确保公共停车场、工业园区、公共和私人建筑、巴士总站、医院等拥有足够和所需的电力容量？此外，如果这些充电器的区域被雨水覆盖，我们有哪一些安全准备和后备措施呢 ？I urged incentives for private apartments and condominiums to install chargers so that potential owners will have less range anxiety and switch to EVs with confidence. And in line with the Singapore Green Plan 2030 to promote EV adoption, Singaporeans can tap on many business and job opportunities. I urge LTA to collaborate with the private sector players like the banks. For example, UOB has put in place financing to promote the development of the EV sector and the transition to green vehicles. MOT had also launched an EV early adoption incentive which runs from January 2021 to December 2023. Under this scheme, owners who register fully electric vehicles receive a rebate of 45% of the additional registration fees, capped at 20,000. I would like to ask, what is the outlook for EEAI that will be expiring end of next year? Will government consider extending the scheme to encourage more owners to switch to EVs? As the year 2022 to mid-2025 is the period with the lowest COE quotas in a 10-year cycle, not many owners will be keen to switch to EVs earlier as their COEs are due later after 2025. Alternatively, would MOT consider a separate COE category for EVs, considering the past few years take-up rate for EVs to determine the EV COE quota size? On the COEs for EVs, can LTA consider extending the COE life from the current 10 years to a longer period, say 12 years, at the same quota premium? This will be another incentive to encourage owners to switch to EVs. The PARF rebate, if any, which is at 50% of ARF at the end of 10 years, should be reduced in tandem to 45% and 40% at the end of 11th and 12th year, respectively. Would the government consider allowing some rebates or incentives at point of purchase and/or for the usage of EVs manufactured in Singapore? For example, waivers of ERP and road tax, free parking at public car parks for a period of time that may be attractive to potential EV buyers. I also urged MOT to consider more incentives for private apartments and condominiums to install chargers so that potential owners will have less range anxiety and switch to EVs with confidence. We also need a clear framework to minimize inappropriate use and hogging of charging lots and ensure that EVs can have access to chargers easily. There are more companies awarded tenders to install public chargers these days. Each service provider decides on its chargers and uses its own app to facilitate payment and the chargers' locations. Will the government consider developing a single app to integrate all service providers and set a common charging rate across all? Lastly, I'm concerned about the issues of batteries, as in the utilization of batteries, swapping services, and recycling. I understand that batteries are resource-intensive, requiring up to 2 batteries for a vehicle on the road. What is MOT's view on this, and should we be more mindful about not encouraging battery swapping schemes? How will we deal with battery disposals? Old batteries may generate a lot of toxic chemicals and potentially cause explosions. The recycling and disposal of such batteries is still an industry in its nascent stage. What is MOT's plans for this sector? As EVs are adopted by the rest of Southeast Asia, Singapore can potentially become a regional center for battery recycling and disposal. If we can close the loop by taking care of EVs from purchasing to charging and maintenance and finally to disposal, we will be able to transit smoothly into the adoption and development of this sector. I would like to conclude with my support for the bill. Thank you.